We have the dragon by itself. We have the dragon with the 10 horns. We have the dragon with the little horn. Little horn receives a deadly wound, and then the deadly wound is healed. That's stage number 4. Rome divided. Papal Rome in its first stage, 1260 years, and then Rome recovering its power after it receives the deadly wound. Now we need to ask some critical questions about this deadly wound that the beast received at the end of the 1260 years. Here are the questions that we're going to attempt to answer in the last part of our study today. With what weapon was the beast wounded? What weapon gave the beast its deadly wound? Question number 2 is going to answer question number 1. What does the sword represent? See, the beast received the deadly wound with the sword. What does the sword represent? Number 3, how and when did the beast acquire the sword? Because the Bible says that he killed with the sword and he would be killed with the sword. So the question is, how did the beast acquire the sword so that he could kill with that sword? Number 4, what is the meaning of the deadly wound? In what sense was the beast wounded to death? Question number 5, what keeps the deadly wound from healing? Because this beast convalesces for a while. What keeps the deadly wound from healing? And finally, when and how will the wound be healed, and by whom? Now, first of all, we want to talk about the weapon that wounded the beast. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10 tells us what weapon wounded the beast. It says there, he who leads into captivity, which is what the beast did, you read the context, he who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. What did the beast use the sword for? The beast used the sword to kill. And the same sword that the beast used to kill would be the sword that would what? Would give it the deadly wound. Someone might object and say, well, Pastor Bor, but it doesn't really say there that the beast was killed with the sword. It says, whoever kills with the sword will be killed with the sword. But notice verse 14 of chapter 13. Here it's explicit that it was the beast that killed with the sword and the beast that was killed with the sword or received the mortal wound. It says in Revelation 13 verse 14, and he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, now listen to this, who was wounded by the sword and lived. So who was wounded with the sword? The beast. So the beast used the sword to kill, and the same sword that it used to kill was going to give the beast the deadly wound. So the question is, what is the sword?